C1music.fm, The Familiar. It is your host for the evening, Aaron Robinson. You know how we do. All day, every day. Today is February 20th. We record every Monday night. And if you want to join us on a call, the number to call is 908-316-8630. Or you can join by web link, which is meetings.dialpad.com/C1 Productions. I have my panel in the house tonight. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Great. Great. Black.
Good. Good. All right, today our topic title is the cost of love. All right, tonight our topic title is the cost of love. And if you are new to this show, we always start off with an opening question. However, I do want to put a plug in before I start my show tonight. Me and Jennifer started a podcast and we put out our first recording last week. So I'm hoping that everybody that's on this call and everybody that listens to the show goes to my site, check out the link. The name of the show is Let's Talk About It. And we had an interesting conversation that we posted last week as our first episode. So it's kind of a little bit like this show. So if you're interested in the content that we do in this show, it definitely would be something that you're also interested in on that show. Let's talk about it. So please check us out. I'll share the link in a text message for y'all to go check out that link. But in the meantime, I do want y'all to support and appreciate the content that we put out. With that being said, the question or the conversation title again is the cost of love. The question is, how much does love actually cost? I want to ask everybody real quick, does love have a cost? Is there a cost of love?
Yes, it does, but it's not a monetary cost.
Okay. Good answer. Anybody else?
I agree.
I agree with that.
It's not a monetary.
Okay.
I agree. There's a cost, but it has nothing to do with money.
Okay. So let me say this. Let me ask this question real quick. Outside of the obvious Jesus Christ, do you know of any characters in the Bible, in your opinion, that paid the cost for love? Going once, going twice. Anyone?
I would say Job.
Job?
Yeah, you say in the Bible?
Yep, in the Bible.
Yeah.
Job. I can see where you can say that. I understand why you would say that.
John the Baptist?
Okay, I can see why you would say that too. But I guess my technical question to it is, I'm talking about anybody in a relationship. Jennifer said David and Bathsheba. I don't know if her mic is working or not, but she said David and Bathsheba. But I don't know, Jennifer, I don't know who in that story are you referring to that lost the love or paid the cost. Is it David? Is it Bathsheba? And to who? Anybody else though?
It has to. You talking male and female?
Yes, male and female.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about in a relationship sense. I mean, you could like, I'll accept Job. I'll accept the other character that was mentioned as a character, but I'm more or less speaking of in a relationship, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend.
What
whatever.
about Moses? He had worked even extra hard to get the wife he really wanted.
Moses?
What about
Moses? Not Moses.
Jacob.
What
Jacob?
about Jacob?
Okay.
Yeah.
But he didn't, nobody died.
No,
Well, you didn't say somebody had to die.
You're right.
Die.
Nobody
You talking
died.
about somebody
Nobody,
who sacrificed their life now?
no, I'm asking, all right, in that story, what did he actually, what cost, you saying the cost was his labor?
Yeah, he worked 14 years for the woman he loved.
But yeah.
I got you. Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, he did it for love.
Did it for love.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I guess the ironic thing of this is I wonder how long he knew his cousin. Was he because it didn't seem like they were close at all. So I wonder, like, maybe the first 7 years he decided to fall in love with her, like while he was working there. Because I mean, like, this was like a setup situation where
I think he fell in love with her right away because then he agreed to work 7 years for her. It's just that he got the wrong sister and had to work another 7.
I
so
agree.
the love was immediate.
I agree, but I mean, like, this, if we go in chronological order, this seems like, the servant went there, came with Jacob, and then right away it's like, all right, cool, let's make the deal. Like, where was the time to fall in love? Another person was mentioned, Hosea and Gomer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was another one mentioned.
That's a rough one.
But I'm going to jump into my Bible situation here that I chose to examine before I jump into my story. And my story is based around 1 Samuel chapter 18 and 19. So in 1 Samuel chapter 18 and 19, we read of a mighty warrior, a slayer of Goliath named David, who struck fear and jealousy into King Saul, fearing that David's popularity brought everything. It was only the kingdom that he didn't possess. Saul grew angrier and angrier with David and briefly toyed with killing him. Before his son and admirer of David, Jonathan, talked Saul out of, killing David. Nevertheless, King Saul was suffering, so he did the unthinkable and offered David his daughter. I don't know how you say her name, so I'm just going to say Michal. And in return, King Saul wanted 200 Philistine foreskins, which to me sounds like a crazy trade. But this gesture of goodwill is short-lived, and Saul's rage grows, and he sends for David's murderer. Knowing that this is going to happen, Michal deceives her father and tells the great warrior David to flee or die. To ensure her father doesn't suspect anything, she pulls the old stuff, a bed with clothes and goat hair to make it look like somebody is there technique, but it didn't work, and Saul sent his troops out to find David to kill him. What I want to do right now, real quick, I want to take a look at Michal for a moment. She was forced to betray her family for a newlywed husband. This almost suggests that this was like a romantic love, and that wins over family love. She put herself at risk to ensure the safety of the man that she may have loved, but in some ways this also is irrational because she was traded for her marriage, not given. So I guess I want to ask, or what I want to say, what this shows us about love. I want to ask y'all, what, in that case, what does this show you about love, and is this even love at all, as far as Michal and David goes?
My guess would be yes, that she was in love with him, and that's why she made that the sacrifice for him.
Do you think he was in love with her?
I don't know. But what she did was no different than what we're expected to do today, that your mate is supposed to be, first among amongst your family and friends. Your mate is supposed to be that primary person.
But I go back to my original question with this, I guess. I'm asking, like, she was traded. She was gifted as a trade. So I'm not saying that she didn't love him. I don't know how long they was together. The Bible doesn't give us any significant details in the time stretch of them being around each other and David dealing with Saul before Saul decided to kill him. But it seemed like things move rather quickly in his growing weariness of David. And, you know, you can only really go based off the movies and how they predict it to be. But reading off the good book, you really don't get a real detail into the stretch of time. So my question again is, and Sister Nancy just answered and said that she believed it was love, from Michael's point of view. And I would say, yeah, she showed good character by, you know, being true to her husband and putting him first. But why? Why do that if you was traded for marriage? Like, we don't even know if David even loved her or if he just did it because he wanted to get closer to Saul. His son, Jonathan, her brother, was his best friend. Is that love? Y'all crickets on here tonight, man. What's going on? Y'all good?
I guess in that time frame, I guess that's probably as close as you were hoping to get to love, because women didn't have a choice who they married. What they had a choice is to make the best out of whatever the situation is. And I'm sure she realized that David was anointed. He was a man of, he was a man after God's own heart. She knew that God was with him. So it'd be silly to go against him.
I agree with that. But however, at this particular point in time, her father's the king. I mean, she pretty much got everything that she want. Everything could be handed to her.
Well, I'm sure she could see maybe she could see that with her dad, maybe she saw that God's hand was not on Saul anymore. Of all the things that were happening. So
y'all trying to tell me that she was moving prophetically?
Not saying that she knew, but it could have been God moving her. Not that she necessarily knew, but.
Well, let's ask this question: is it possible?
Even if whether she loved him or not, she could have known that she could have loved him, because she could have just been around him from the standpoint of him being Jonathan's best friend. So I'm sure with Jonathan being a brother, she was around him and whatnot. But she knew that what her dad was doing was wrong, and standing up, she was doing what was right. For whatever reason, whether it was for love or even just the fact of doing what is right because it's right. She knew her dad, what he was doing was wrong, and David hadn't done anything to harm her father.
Okay.
I'm not saying she didn't love him. She probably did, but whether she did or not, she did what was right.
I agree with you on that. So I want to ask everybody on the call, would y'all have done the same thing that she did? Would you have sold your family out, your brother, everything, like choose your husband in that situation over your family? Because David had to leave, and at the very least, we don't know if I can't sit here and tell you or sit here and say this is not Jacob. situation. Jacob didn't have to work for. Jacob worked 14 years to get the lady he wanted. David didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to be. He wasn't put to the test. And if y'all know the story of David in this situation, his second wife was Abigail, and when he married Abigail, he married another young lady right with her. So at that point, he was up to 3 wives and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you know, his first wife, he wasn't even. I don't know how much time they was around each other, but he wasn't even around her that much. He had to think about fighting and stuff. So, like I said, then he was going to fight Abigail's husband. And when Abigail did what she did, and they killed old boy, I forgot his name, started with an N, I forgot his name. But when they killed him.
Nathan.
Nah, it wasn't Nathan. I forgot his name, though.
I didn't say Nathan. I swear.
Nabal or something like that.
Nabal.
Something of that sort. But they killed him, and he married Abigail and some, I want to say some random young lady that was, I guess, in the premise. He was like, "Yeah, I want you too. Hop on a horse. Hop on a horsey." You get in the front, you get in the back. Let's make this happen. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I'm asking, so out of everybody on the call, so everybody, would y'all have done the same thing? Betrayed your family for your husband, who is going to be like this? This could be like the equivalent of your husband going to jail and going to be going for a while. Can I get some answers? Talk to me, y'all.
I don't think I would have done it if God led me to do it. I don't think, when you put it in the terms of going to jail for a little bit, doing some time.
I mean, he wasn't going to be around.
Myself.
Her father was trying to kill him. So, I mean, like, he's not going to be around until this whole thing gets settled. And at the end of the day, it's either going to be kill him, he kill your father, or your father kill him. You know what I mean?
But it didn't end up that way, right?
No, but the choice had to be made, though. He didn't come back. They didn't come back together. It wasn't like they came back as a happy family.
Do you think she knew the type of father she had? She knew his character. She knew the type of life that he was living, and maybe, David had set, we know that he did things too, but David had set a better example. And then, as I think first, your mother had mentioned that about, and I forgot now, something about being friends with Jonathan. So I just believe that she knew his character and everything, and she knew what was right and what was wrong, and she knew that her father was wrong. And so me, if I know that someone in my family is doing something wrong towards a person who really ain't doing them no harm, I think I would help that person out, because that would be the right thing to do. You love your family, but there's only a certain amount that you're going to take and be with them, especially if they are doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, so,
I agree.
So I got you saying that you would have picked your husband, even though you would have been left alone with your family.
I sure would. Well, they didn't know I did it.
Yeah, they found out. They know.
It's all right. I would depend on God.
He found out. He found out very quickly.
Well,
the fake pillow in the bed thing, stuffed in bed with goat hair and stuff like that.
But Aaron,
yes,
when a couple gets married, you're supposed to forsake. You're not supposed to forsake your husband for your family. You're supposed to be as one with your husband. So I don't think
but imagine this then. If they got married, think about it like this. If they got married, which they did, that was his wife, they still was living under, it's like they was living under Saul's roof for him to have that type. the access to it. I mean, it's not like it was his kingdom. It was his roof. I mean, his, you know, he was living in probably one of his castles or something. I don't know.
Well, would you go to jail because your father's going to jail?
No.
I'm just throwing that out there.
No, but I mean that is still they have to. You also have to provide circumstances. I would go to jail if my father was going to jail if he was standing up for the right thing.
Yeah, but Saul wasn't standing up for the right thing. Saul was a wicked individual.
He wasn't always wicked. This right here is more about jealousy.
No, he wasn't, but he turned out to be.
Well, yes, he was.
Well, you said this about what? Jealousy?
Jealousy.
Yeah.
And so that's wrong. And so that's wrong. Saul was wrong. So whether it's your husband or your family, you stand up. You don't, because just like Edna was saying, as far as, you know, you stand up with your husband, but if your husband is wrong, you don't stand up for wrong.
No.
You might say, you know, hey, hon, I'm with you and everything, but this is wrong, and I can't go with wrong. So you don't stand with somebody that's wrong. Okay.
So are you saying, First Lady, that you would pick your husband over your family in this particular situation?
Right. If he's doing what's right, if what's right to me, if my family is wrong, then I can't side with them. They're wrong.
Okay. All right, what about, so I got Elder Martin said that she's picking her husband. First Lady said she's picking her husband. Everybody else?
I would pick what's right.
First Lady said I would pick my
husband. I would pick my husband if he's the one that's in the right and the other person is in the wrong.
And David was in the right.
So y'all saying more or less, y'all saying that y'all would pick the person that was right. So you would be willing to give up your marriage if your husband was the one in the wrong.
So I'm saying that it comes down to that if I choose right, then I lose my husband.
I'm not saying that. I'm just asking. You saying regardless, you would choose right.
Well, most likely, at some level, the marriage is pretty much done anyway then. Because even if I chose to stay with him, it would never be the same again because I would know that I chose wrong.
I mean,
so that would have to be corrected.
I agree, but I mean,
he would have to at some point
in this situation
go back and correct or clean up whatever mess that was made.
Okay, Michal, Abigail, the other young woman that he married as well, that was his third wife, and then Bathsheba, which we know Bathsheba was a situation where he was completely in the wrong. At that point in time, he's now on his fourth wife. He was the first.
But during that time, they were used to that type of relationship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That was their culture.
His son had 300 wives.
He's great day in the morning. How he do that?
700 wives. Was it 700 wives and 300 concubines, or 300 wives and just one of them? I think, but so they were out of control anyway back then.
Yeah, he said they all had a night.
He was doing well.
He said, y'all get 3 days out of the week each.
Mm-hmm. It ain't even enough days in the week for all of that.
For real.
Not even in a year.
Everybody get an hour for that. 1 hour.
So let me ask this random question. If y'all was living back then and y'all knew that if y'all was going to be married to this guy, he's going to marry the king, but he's going to marry mad people, you would just be one of his wives, but you'll be set for life. Would you choose to do that? This is off topic, but it's just a random question. Would y'all choose to marry him regardless, knowing that y'all gonna be set, your family gonna be set, but you just not gonna have him for yourself?
Oh,
Jen said that wasn't a
Back
choice in
then,
those days.
it'd be, you may never even have to see him.
Right.
It probably would be less. You might see him once every 3 years or so, and that's if you were one of the favorites. Because after that many, he's gonna lose track.
Okay, so that means you couldn't fall in love with nobody else or nothing. You'll be.
Well, I mean, love today is different than back then because women didn't have a choice. So if you're with the king, then you're pretty much going to be taking care of your family's good. You see him every blue moon because as time goes on, he's going to get more and more of them. It's just hopefully he'll stay in power long enough so your children will be safe.
Okay, so now I'm asking, would you have made the choice to marry him?
You didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You really didn't have a choice.
I'm asking the question because at the end of the day, that also had to be in Michael's mind too. She knew her father.
Yeah.
She knew what it was all about.
I probably would choose to marry so that I know that my family is going to be safe and secure.
In her case, she was safe and secure regardless, whether she was under her dad.
Yeah, but maybe I'm thinking another way now. Maybe that was her way of paying him back. It's all back. But I know that she was being loyal, but she didn't have no other choice. So
okay. I'm just asking
and
the
she
questions.
probably admired David too.
She probably what? I'm sorry?
She probably admired David. I mean, all the stories and all the things that he's done.
Yeah.
She probably had some admiration for him too. And then he was a good man. He's friends with my brother. There are a lot of positives because she could have been made to marry anybody. So you have the idea that this is a pretty good man with good character.
Yes. Plus, he had killed Goliath, and everybody was singing that song. Saul killed his 1,000, and David his 10,000. So he was being praised and whatnot by he had built up a reputation and whatnot. So
I mean, if you think of him now, the modern day, he's popular. In modern day, he was a warrior. You know, let's say he was a military guy. So he was, he had the physique. He was a musician. So he can play music and sing to you.
Yeah. So she admired him up to a point, and we know what that point was.
All right. So the reality of the situation is, just to get a clarity, I just wanted to know, would y'all have done the same thing that she did? You know what I mean? Do you think, and y'all said this already, some of y'all said that y'all think that she did marry and help David because it was just the right thing to do. But that's what I guess I just want to, before I go into my story, understand. So my question again is, I'm going to question it a different way. Do you think she helped David because it was the right thing to do? Or do you think she did it because she really fell in love with David?
Maybe it was some of both. Yeah, maybe it was both. Maybe it was some of both. I think she was in love with him.
It could have been loyalty too, since that was, her husband.
Her husband, right?
And she could have been in love too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, everybody's saying that it could have been both. Could have been love, could have been loyalty. It was the right thing to do. But majority of y'all are also saying that y'all would have did the same thing she did in that situation, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Let's jump into my story then.
I thought that was the story.
Oh boy.
Let's jump into the story. That was the Bible topic story. Let's jump into our story. So I want everybody to meet Kelly. She is a 25-year-old lady who works for her father's delivery business. She helps her dad, Thomas, manage and deliver products to several stores per day. This jobs pay her bills, and she relies on the income that she makes from working with her father to sustain a very healthy and wealthy lifestyle. So one day her father found out that he was diagnosed with colon cancer and will be on bed rest for 6 months after he does all this chemo and stuff. That made Kelly scramble to hire someone new because she needed the business to keep running for her father's sake and for her sake so she can continue paying her bills. So Kelly hired another delivery guy, and the plan was to hire him until dad gets better. So she hired a guy named Jerome, a 26-year-old driver who had experience driving trucks and was looking for a job at the time. Jerome needed this job because he was in prison for a crime he didn't commit, but didn't rat on his friend at the age of 17 years old. And even though prison has made him a better man, his decision to be loyal to his friends still haunts him. So this job with Kelly is a perfect situation because she needs him and he needs her. Jerome also has a son, and him and his baby mother don't get along. So Jerome also needs this because of child support. So it's been very hard for him to make enough to take care of himself and also to take care of his child support. Once Jerome started, everyone he delivered the products to loved him and wanted him to be their permanent delivery guy. Kelly was happy that things were going good and business was doing even better than it was when her father was doing the deliveries. Jerome and Kelly also started having feelings for each other, and within 3 months started dating officially. Things were going good for Kelly and Jerome, and she also got along with Jerome's son too. 3 months later, Thomas, Kelly's father, was back and ready to go to work. He told Kelly to fire Jerome so he can take over his routes again. Hearing this made Kelly upset, as she knew that Jerome needed this job and knew how bad it would affect him. She also was aware that she was making more money when Jerome was doing deliveries. Kelly pleaded with her father to keep Jerome on. Her father said, "We don't need him," and was firm in the fact that he didn't want Jerome working for him and didn't want her dating him as well. Kelly told Jerome about her dad wanting to come back and also hinting towards letting him go. And Jerome said that they should start their own business together so they can continue to work together and be together. If you were Kelly, what would you do? Would you fire Jerome and stay loyal to your dad, even though you really have feelings for Jerome, and knowing that firing him would affect him and your relationship, and also your relationship with his son, who you are now fine with? Or would you leave your father, which means he will have to do everything by himself and would more than likely go out of business within a year? The choice is yours. You decide the cost of love.
She was in an awful predicament.
That's messed up.
Bad situation. Bad situation.
The cost of love. Talk to me.
I don't think I would fire Jerome. I would try and get my father to understand that when we were down and out, when you were, sickly, he came in and he made the business even better than what it was. And now that I have feelings for him, no, I wouldn't fire him. And I would try and get my father to understand that. And if he didn't, then possibly, yes, I would have to move on. He didn't do anything. Jerome didn't do anything wrong.
Move on from your dad?
My father, and maybe do us, do the business. Just like maybe we have to find people to work for my dad. That if you don't want Jerome, we find somebody, other people for you. But Jerome didn't do anything wrong. Why should he have to give up everything?
Well, he was just replacing your dad from the very beginning anyway.
Okay, but he had to replace my dad because my dad became ill. And so he came in and he made things a lot better. So what is your reasoning that he has to go? Why can't
Because
he just stay?
your dad is back.
Okay, you back, but things are better now. So why not keep them going?
That's right.
Keep them better.
But your dad, that's your dad, and he wants to continue working. And so
Oh, my dad is her dad.
hold on.
Oh.
That's your dad. Hold on. That's your dad. It's his business. He started the business. He built the business. And having Jerome is just an extra person you got to pay when he can do it himself.
Yeah, but now you're making more money, so you can keep Jerome, and I can keep Jerome.
Yeah, actually, just making a little bit of more money.
All right.
Jerome would have to go.
Jerome would be out.
Jerome.
Hold on. So what you say, Jen?
Nah, Jerome would be out.
He got to go?
Yeah.
Business over everything?
Wow.
No, family over everything. Because I
over
knew if
everything.
I
I
got
got you.
sick, and I'm glad that my kids were looking out while I'm gone. But when I come back, I'm the boss. So either Jerome can go, or you and Jerome can go.
You could be the boss, and you could be the boss over Jerome.
I would say if my dad is healthy, he's back. I'd say, Jerome, hey, it was nice knowing you. I mean, I would try to salvage my relationship, but how could I say, yeah, my dad is not coming back? Like, we're just gonna stick with Jerome and me. I don't think so. I think Jerome would have to go.
But
my dad said,
It's the dad's business, so you really don't have a choice to let the dad go.
Right.
The business is his. You have a choice to stay or leave.
Right.
Right. With or without Jerome. Yeah.
With
now,
or without
if Jerome
Jerome.
were my husband, I would be with Jerome because Dad's just being pig-headed. But Jerome is like a relationship that, hey, could go further or maybe it wouldn't. So
Sister
I have
Nance,
to take all that into consideration.
you also got to take into consideration that you and Jerome income comes from your dad business.
Yeah.
So if you and Jerome leave, you're starting all over.
Yeah, but Jerome and I can start a new business.
If
we
it
were
was Jerome
married,
was my husband, I'd be like, I'll see you at dinner.
if he were my husband. But he's not my husband, so.
Right. So are you picking your dad too? I got one for Jerome.
I think Dad's kind of ignorant, really.
That's ignorant. I don't know. Why do you think he's ignorant?
He's ignorant because it's proven that the guy is making, the business is making more money than he did.
That's
so
right.
there needs to be some way to work it out so that they both can stay. If they're making all that money, it's not a matter of just paying an additional person. Your profits are being bigger, so you can be able to afford that person.
But it's still his business.
Dad's being prideful.
Yeah. And
Because
Dad what happens if something happens to Dad all over again?
Dad's business was falling apart when he had to have somebody to take it over, or it would have shut down then. You're talking about if they leave, it was shut down in a year. It would have already been shut down.
And I think the dad might have been.
Came in. If she hadn't hired somebody.
That's right. And see, the dad was in profit off of what he was making while he was out sick. His own needs had been met.
Yeah.
Dad's jealous because now
I think he was jealous of all of
business
it.
and the
Jealousy and pride.
Now, I can kind of see if it's a dad's baby.
Go ahead.
I can kind of see that if you started this from the ground up as your baby, you wanna do it, you wanna handle it. But it's like this right here. If you were getting paid while you were out, your daughter was making moves, then if anything, you want to still be working. How about this? How about you work to try to expand it?
Why did he have to expand his own business though? I'm confused. Like it should be his choice though.
Or if he Maybe he worked part-time because he's going to get paid regardless. Or if I was the daughter, if I had enough money, could I buy him out? Make a plan to where I could buy him out?
But what if he don't want to get bought out? It's his business.
Maybe he's too old to keep working.
All right, let me start all over. Hold on. I'm not. So let me make sure. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying, because I'm not disagreeing with y'all, but I'm also not agreeing with y'all. You know what I mean? I feel like some of the things that y'all saying, maybe it could be jealousy, maybe he could be stubborn, maybe he could be whatever he could be.
No.
But the point of it all, though, is it's his business, so he has the right to be that way. Whether it's in your eyes the right way or the wrong way, it's his choice. He has a right to make a decision on his business, whether it falls apart based off his decision or whether it flourishes from that point going forward based off his decision. It's his choice to make.
But it impacts her life.
Exactly.
So she also has the option to get another job.
Bingo.
So I'm asking you, what would you do? Would you stay with Jerome or would you pick your dad?
One big point in it is the fact that I don't know who pointed it out. Like I think Nancy, like, is he my husband or is he my boyfriend?
At this present stage, he's your boyfriend.
We're not even engaged.
Maybe you could say, "Yo, I'll choose you if we get engaged and get married."
Yeah, he would have to be more than my boyfriend for me to give up everything.
Okay, so if y'all was engaged and he was your fiance, then what?
Then it would be a bigger situation, whereas we would have to talk more. And with us, we got a date set, we're getting married, then I would have to talk to my dad from that standpoint. That, hey, this is going to be my wife, and
this is going to be your husband,
in this case, I guess. Yeah. This is going to be my husband, and, you know, I want us to be able to work this out, and we all work together. But at that point, we'll be one, and I'm going to have to go that route. I'm saying, you know, that's where the Bible talks about leave and cleave.
Gotcha.
So I'm saying, I would be,
And that's the reason why I made the decision.
To understand. I would be trying to get my dad to understand that we can all work together and be in business, because we were prospering while he was out. Like someone said, he was still getting money. We all were still making money. He'd come back in, it'd be three of us making more money.
Okay.
Getting, doing bigger and better. So I would try to convince him of that. And that would always be my goal, to convince him of that until we got married. Once we got married, if dad still said no, then I would have to go on with my husband and we start the new business.
All right. So I have a question for you. Being that that's your argument case to your dad, if you wasn't married or if you wasn't engaged, how come that's still not your same argument?
Well, it still would be my argument because it would be the right thing to do. But I don't know if I would then, for a boyfriend, give up my job.
Why would it be the right thing to do?
I think because we're making business, we're making money, and everybody's prospering and doing well. But if you're putting me in a situation whereas I have to choose one, I might choose neither one then. It might just go get me a job somewhere.
Yes.
Because once Jerome leaves, it may fall apart.
Exactly.
You said that the people loved Jerome.
That is correct.
You said they loved the father. They loved Jerome.
And Jerome could take all his customers.
Yeah, exactly.
That is if y'all start the same business up again. I mean, would you even do something like that? Start the same exact business that you was doing with your dad? Because that's, to me, real betrayal right there.
My dad is being betrayal. He's the betrayer.
See, again, I don't agree. I understand what y'all saying, but I don't agree with y'all. And I guess maybe because
not betrayal, but he's not taking into consideration his daughter.
He's not saying he doesn't like Jerome. What if he doesn't want felons? What if he doesn't want felons
employed at his job or whatever because the guy was in jail, right? If he's a felon, what if he doesn't? What if it's just a business move and it may not be business savvy? No, I would still try to talk to my dad, but both of us can't lose our jobs. Even if he was my husband, I would say, hey, let me work at my dad's place, and you get another job. And then if I can't convince him, then we'll look at other options. But until then, I don't think.
Well, yeah,
I wouldn't even quit with my, because I don't think, not unless he's saying, I do not like Jerome. I don't want you. Well, you did say he said he doesn't want to marry you.
And you're talking about he doesn't want a felon and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
well, honestly, most jobs don't hire felons, so it's not like
but I'm saying Jerome is out there, Jennifer. But Jerome is out there building up his business, felon or not. He's building up his business. Everything is going well and whatnot. If there was a problem, then I see your point. But if there's no problem, everybody's accepting him and he's working and the business is growing.
Let me ask this question, First Lady. Let's say,
why me?
Because you the one pushing this one. So hold on, let me ask this question though. Let's say pastor at Faith Christian Outreach Center falls ill for 6 months and you have to bring another pastor in. Let's say elder doesn't want to take that, you or elder doesn't want to take that responsibility of preaching every Sunday. So they hire another pastor. But this pastor is doing a dynamic job. He's like amazing. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a good job. Let's see, matter of fact, he's preaching so much and doing so well. More people are coming to the church. More people are listening. The church is starting to grow in these fast 6 months. Pastor is now healthy and ready to come take back his position. Are you saying that pastor should sit down and let it be?
Well, you're talking a different thing. I would say all of that kind of stuff would be spirit led. I'm saying then pastor would need to pray about the situation and find out what the Lord is doing or where he's leading. And if he feels the Lord is telling him to, hey, step back, then step back. Then for me, I'm not the pastor, so I would have to go along with whatever way he chooses. But that would be between him and God as to how he take that, and then deal with from the church. How they deal with that. But I would have to go either way because I'm going to trust that God is, no matter what, he's provided for us all this time, that he's still going to provide. Okay. And then maybe another door may open and be pastor somewhere else.
That is correct.
So I don't know. But I'm saying that would have to be a decision that he makes along with listening to the voice of God.
So I'm going to
believe that God is going to take care of his own.
Hold on. Let me say this then. So I'm going to say for myself, let's say I have my business and I've been doing it for the last 30 years. Business been good, surviving off of it. I get sick. My wife is forced to hire somebody else. And this other person takes, is doing my business. And let's say he's growing the business and going in a direction. And business is growing even better than what I was sustaining. But now I'm ready to take back my business. I'm now healthy enough to take back my business. I feel as though, like, at the end of the day, it's still my decision to make the choice. And I can apply the same thing that you said. I can go to God and pray about it. I can even make the decision to, sell the business to my man and God to have another opportunity for me or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's my decision to make.
But there's two things going on. It's your business. You started it and whatever. But with a pastor, it doesn't work that way.
Correct.
I'm saying, first off, you're called by God, number one. And then number two, a church body has to take you on as their pastor. If the church decides that they don't want them, then he doesn't really have a choice there. But he's going to have to trust God, and that would be the same thing as in your story, like we're saying with the customers, the people that he's serving. If the dad comes back, they may decide, hey, they want to stick with that guy, and if he starts his own business, they go with him. So I'm saying that's a choice that everybody makes for themselves. Could be the same thing as if pastors go start another church, then it could be some people that say, hey, I really want to stick with Pastor Robinson, so they may go with him. It depends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't.
Everybody has to call their own shots, but in a spiritual thing, you have to be led of the Lord how to do that.
Yeah. Right. I don't want to really focus on, because I don't want to focus on the church thing, because that's really, I was trying to use that as an example. I don't know if that was a good example or not.
Got you.
But
it's still your business. It is your business. You can still you're the overseer of the whole thing. Why not at your age, if you're sick and everything, let him do all the running around, and it's still yours.
June, my thing about it, Juno, you sound like you more excited about the fact that you're trying to keep your dating life and everything.
No,
like that sounds like that's more important to you more so than the well-being of my business.
I'm trying to help my father, but
right.
I'm trying to help us both. Because why should, if I found maybe somebody who's the love of my life, but I'm not. No, I'm not saying that. Just, but my father should understand. I'm just saying, at your age, you're sick. Why not have somebody who can
said
do
he
all
bounced
that
back,
running
man.
around?
He bounced back.
What?
He bounced back.
Oh, how old is this man?
Yeah. How old is he?
Man.
He should be close to retirement.
Oh, man. Y'all still missing the point, though. The point, though, is his decision.
I would say, yeah.
The point
I
is
would
what?
say, yeah.
It's still his decision. Your decision is to try to convince him to do that, but at the end of the day, you got to accept that he's the one in control of that. So you either got to accept that you are going to either go with your boyfriend and do something and kind of betray your family, or you're going to betray your boyfriend and stay loyal to your dad. I mean, those really the cards that you have to deal. Trying to convince him is one thing, but I think if you speaking that passionately, it's not really about business.
No, it is about business.
But Aaron, you're not betraying the boyfriend. It's the father that's making that decision.
Right.
What are you doing to your daughter?
You have no control over your father.
That is
You're doing
correct.
everything you can. But when it comes down to it, Dad has the final say.
That's my point.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, June, what would you choose? Ms. Plummer, what would you choose?
Eventually, I would stay with my dad, but try to make my boyfriend understand why I'm staying with him.
And see, he was hired temporarily anyway. I'm sure when she got him, she told him it was temporary.
Right, exactly.
Some of y'all sound like y'all changing your answers, though.
No, but for me, as I said, if he was my husband, or even we were getting married, then that plays a different role in it. If he's just my boyfriend, then that's a different ball game.
Okay.
If he's just my boyfriend, because you can just, like Nancy said earlier, you can wind up splitting up.
That is correct.
So
I want to ask you this question, First Lady, because you pointed this out.
Why you keep asking me direct questions?
Because you the one that's giving the most opinion on this.
Okay, well, I'm being quiet.
No. I'm directing the question to you, but anybody can answer it. But I'm only pointing this out to you because you made the statement earlier. And when we went back to the Bible story, or going back to the Bible story, you said that you would do what you would do because it's the right thing to do. I was asking, do you do it out of love, or you do it because it's the right thing to do? So I want to know from anybody on the panel, what's the right thing to do?
That's what I would have to figure out. Which one is the right thing to do?
Default to my dad. My dad is the boss. I can't say anything. Even if my dad is the boss, so it is what it is on that.
Okay. Karen, what about you?
say that honor the wishes of the boss, who is my dad. But then I would also say, okay, since he was so good, let's write him a good recommendation letter. Are there any friends in the business or friends in the area, because you've been doing this for a long time, that you can put in a good word for him and not just give the recommendation letter? Even if it's delivery, but for a different segment. We do furniture. It could be for appliances or something else, something totally different, or medical supplies, so that we can do our best to help make sure that he gets another job if possible, because he is good.
Okay. Hey, June, what if Jerome ain't trying to hear that? He like, yo, let's go start a business together ourselves so we can be together and start a living together. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna change what I have going on and jeopardize that for a boyfriend that may stay, may go.
Hold on, y'all all y'all name ain't June? June, holla at me, June.
Well, I don't know, because I'm thinking too, my dad could pass away. Jerome's gone. That's funny, but honestly, if you stay in the business, you would inherit the business if you stayed in the business, right?
Correct.
Well, to be honest, all jokes aside, it sounds funny, but honestly, that's true. I just would.
So all you got to do is wait it out.
Wait it out.
Oh, well,
then you and Jerome could be out. You can get back. Y'all can go back to normal. 10 years, 12 years, 20 years later.
My boss's father is 99 years old.
Uh-huh.
In his right mind.
So you might be waiting it out a long time if it was his.
Is he worth the wait? June, is he worth the wait?
I hope so.
He might try to figure out if she's worth the wait.
True.
He might go on.
You're right.
Oh, man.
Right.
Hey, Margaret, what about you?
I don't know. That's really hard, but it's really, really hard.
The cost of love.
I would try to talk to my boyfriend and try to explain to him, just can you just hold out? Go ahead on and find another job. Just hold out. Let me see if I can work this out with my dad, because he had colon cancer. You said, right?
Yeah.
And he went through all the treatment and stuff, but it's no telling. He could get sick again and get down again and can't, do the job, and they'll need somebody. I would just try to talk to my boyfriend and, tell him.
So you stand with that?
Stick with my dad right
That's a thought,
now,
though,
pretty much.
If the boyfriend says, no, I'm going to go ahead on, and I learned a lot, so I'm going to start my own business, because the boyfriend, if you're talking about he's got a record and he may have struggled to get a job, he could start his own business and he's already doing well. And some customers may decide to go with him. If dad goes down again, she's got to go through that whole process again. Hire somebody else, and if they do well in the business and whatnot, then what dad's going to do then? So that's just a messed up situation. Because I've seen if y'all watch Judge Judy and never seen them hairdressers where one somebody's got a chair in their business, and then customers start wanting them to do their hair, and then the person they fall out, and so the person leaves, and half the shop want to go with the person that left.
No loyalty.
Well, they going with who gives them the best service.
I know. At the end of the day, that's business.
It's not a matter of loyalty; it's a matter of excellence.
Yeah.
To me, I agree with everything you're saying. I feel like if that was me, I still would want the customer to at least tell me, and I also would want my man, whoever it is, especially if I'm writing you recommendations and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? Because most times in business, when you are hiring somebody, you make them sign a non-compete agreement. So, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't take any of your customers at least for like 2 to 3 years.
Honestly, I seen that on. I think it was Judge Judy, and they had signed that thing too. Whatever you talking about. Yeah. And the peep, and they were in court, and the peep that they had customers in there in the shop, and they were saying they didn't get. It was an exercise thing. It was they didn't. The man didn't ask them to come or nothing. They liked him better, and they wanted to leave the shop.
But it's still with a non-compete agreement, you still can get in trouble for that, though.
But I'm saying they were in the court saying they were saying that they wasn't going back to him. If they couldn't go to him, they wasn't going back to him.
I understand that, but if you sign a non-compete agreement, he can't service you because you was customers of his when he was working with you.
Mm-hmm. Is that what Judge Judy said, Lady C?
I don't remember.
That's the law.
I think a couple of the people, maybe
Judy's the law, Aaron.
Nah, that's fake TV, man.
She has to go by she had to go by what the law was for
exactly.
Yeah, the law is if you sign a non-compete agreement, you can't take somebody's customers.
I know that people were saying that they were going to the new guy's shop because they liked him better, and that he did not try to pull them there or nothing like that. So I don't know who won the case. I can't remember, but I know that people were saying they didn't want to go back to that guy, to the original person that he had hired somebody, and they liked him better.
Mm-hmm. And that happens, that does happen, and what can you do?
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what happened.
But with that being said, the cost of love. I hope this one was a good one for y'all. I try to bring those tough, difficult questions. Things that you have to think about. That's good. That's good. So I appreciate y'all for joining in the call. It is 10:05. So like my pastor always says, be safe, be blessed, be well. I'm saying thank y'all for calling. And have a good night.
Interesting. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
God bless.